Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. It is October 18th, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go over some information with you here, and I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible. But I want you to understand one thing. I'm going to have to be kind of vague in my wording because of some of the censorship that is now going on throughout all of social media. I'm going to mention one other thing. From this point on, again, from this point on, I would advise each and every one of you to come back to the Planet X News YouTube channel at least once a day in a 24-hour period, or visit the Planet X News Facebook page. The links are provided in the description box underneath. There is a reason for that, but please just follow my direction. If you see any new video coming up from Planet X News, regardless of what the title is, just watch it. The titles may have to be vague also in their actual wording. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's get into this weather. Right now, and for the rest of this month, ladies and gentlemen, there are going to be some very severe weather anomalies that are going to occur worldwide. There's a very high possibility that these events are going to be catastrophic. They could be very, very dangerous. There's a lot of situations right now that are going on around the world that are so intense. You may not see them on mainstream media, but you will find these events on websites like the Sign of the Times and the Watchman and several others. Keep in tune with your social media on Facebook. That's about all I can tell you on that end. Now, these weather anomalies, I've been studying this now, folks, for probably the last 7 days. And you haven't seen or heard much of me or Dr. Albers because we've been studying this weather pattern and we're trying to come up with some answers. And if you watched our video last week pertaining to this pole shift, the way that our planet is wobbling and tilting, it is actually going to become more severe as each and every day goes by. Now, you all know that we have the natural tilt of our planet, and in the northern hemisphere, we're passing through fall. We're moving into winter. We're kind of right in between. The same applies for the southern hemisphere. They're moving out of their winter and they're moving into their summer. Right now, the northern hemisphere, from the equator up, you're going to see a lot of very, very strange weather occurrences that are going to be very, very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. So let this be a little bit of a heads up. No matter where you live, it doesn't matter where you live. The possibilities of one of these weather systems developing so rapidly, you don't want to get caught off guard. I've been watching a weather pattern that is about to move up into Japan. The weather system, which could be considered a cyclone, typhoon, hurricane, whatever you want to call it, it's going to have wind speeds that may exceed 150 to 170 miles an hour. It will be located right off of the coast of Tokyo, Japan. What's going to happen? Well, we're going to see. The same's going to apply for the Pacific Northwest and the extreme western coast of Canada. Also included in this will be the entire southern coast of Alaska. Now, one of the big problems for California, the way that the wind patterns are going to conduct themselves, well, let's just say it is going to fuel the fires that are burning in the state of California. I've gotten some reports of other fires that are burning in other northwestern states. So this is going to become a big, big problem. I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the weather mapping. And this is the storm that's been brewing down here in the Pacific, and it's going to make its way up to Tokyo. I'll go ahead and run this out for you so you can see how this is going to develop. Getting back to the extreme wobble and the tilt of the Earth, we're actually moving backwards, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit more than the Earth's natural tilt. And this is going to create very, very strong and erratic jet streams, both in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. Now, I'm going to get into some things about Australia in a few minutes. I'll show you exactly what will probably happen. But as you can see, I'm just going to stop this real quick. This cyclone or typhoon will be sitting right off the coast of Osaka, Japan, and then soon to be Tokyo. You can see the wind speeds are 150, 160. They're very, very, very strong near the eye of this typhoon or cyclone. This is going to cause very, very severe tidal surge, storm surge. There's no doubt about it. A lot of wind damage also. Now, from what I'm seeing so far, these storms are not big precipitation storms carrying a lot of water. The wind speed is the factor, and the length of time the storms sit and spin off of the coasts of these areas, such as what we're looking at right now for Japan. So I'm just going to back out here just a little bit. And you'll see this massive weather system. I mean, it already has wind speeds of 110 miles an hour plus. It's going to make its way across the Pacific. But I'm going to zoom in here to California. As you can see, this weather system already has wind speeds in excess of 80, 90, probably close to 100 miles an hour. The way that things are happening with our jet stream, well, they're very, very severe. If you take a very, very close look at the way the air patterns are going to flow, this vortex of air here is just going to sit and spin. And as it spins, it is going to fuel the fires in Northern California. And I'll be quite honest, once again, this is not going to be a 1 or 2 day event, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to last all the way through to the end of October, as far as I can see right now. It is also going to continue as we move further to the winter solstice. Each and every day that goes by, ladies and gentlemen, the tilt of the Earth is going to get a little bit more extreme each and every day, therefore increasing the possibilities of these very, very erratic and severe weather patterns. It's probably going to drive meteorologists around the world intensely crazy because they've probably never seen anything like what is about to happen in their careers. I don't think any of us in our lifetime has seen anything like what is about to happen. Each and every one of you should definitely have some type of emergency plan on hand. If you do not, I don't care where you live, you need to sit your family down today sometime, and you need to get yourself and your family in order. There's no need to panic, but it's a good idea. It's my suggestion to each and every one of you. Go to the store today, grab a couple cases of water, grab some provisions such as canned food, some batteries, flashlight. Make sure that you have just some of these general things. You just never know what's going to happen, literally hour by hour. We're going to have more and more of these very, very erratic weather systems. They're just going to keep coming at us. It's going to get worse in the northern hemisphere. And, you know, there aren't many land masses in the southern hemisphere. However, the tip of South Africa and more so Australia are going to be in the eye of a lot of these weather patterns from the jet streams in the southern hemisphere coming up, well, probably in about a week or two, probably about a week to 10 days. Now, right now, I'll just go ahead and show you. We'll move over here to Australia, and I'm just going to go ahead and back this up to today. As you can see, it's a very extreme jet stream, a portion of it right here in the southern hemisphere. Right now, Australia is slightly above it, but as the Earth continues in even its natural tilt backwards, this jet stream here is literally going to move up into the lower half of Australia. The same thing's going to apply for this bottom portion of Africa. And as you can see already, the lower tip of South America is already within this jet stream. But it's not that bad just yet. As far as Australia goes, remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the next week to 10 days, possibly even sooner, these systems are going to be moving directly into the lower half of Australia. There's no way around it. It's going to happen. So that's why I'm telling you now, you need to have this plan in effect as of today. As of today. Weather patterns for the United States, well, let's just say they're going to be, again, completely erratic. Now, there are portions of the United States that aren't really going to feel too much of anything. Maybe some cooler temperatures. As you can see, within the next 10 days, the jet streams are going to start dipping very, very fast into the Midwest of the United States from about the halfway point, about Minnesota and the Great Lakes, eastward. As you can see, they're going to bring pretty extreme cold air and the possibilities of some pretty heavy storms. Also, increased wind. Now, folks, you're going to start seeing wind you're going to start seeing more wind than you are precipitation, meaning rain. And the reason being is because of the way that our Earth is going to be tilting. It's going to be a little more extreme than the Earth's natural tilt during this seasonal change. I had a feeling this was going to happen, but I was just waiting and waiting so I can get more data. The problem is, you know, I'm not a fortune teller, so I need to see what is actually happening with these weather patterns. I don't have access to satellites and satellite feeds like NASA does. So they know exactly what's happening. They know exactly the tilt of our Earth right now. They know that this is going to create some very extreme weather patterns in both hemispheres. Now, the closer you move away from the equator, meaning the further north you go and the further south you go, the more extreme the wind and weather patterns are going to be. The closer you are to the equator, the more calm things will be. I hope all of you understand what I'm saying. The closer you get to the poles, the faster the wind speed and the more intense these major vortexes of air and wind are going to be. Now, as far as Europe goes, I'm just going to go ahead and move back here. I'm just going to go ahead and let this run. Move in here to Europe, and the same thing is going to occur for a lot of the coastal European countries. As you can see right now, I'm going to go ahead and just stop this. There's another major weather system that's going to be moving in within the next 72 hours. It's going to be moving directly back into Ireland, the UK, a lot of the coastal areas, France, northern Spain, and Portugal are going to start seeing these higher wind speeds. Now, I don't know if any of you know, but there are fires burning in the country of Portugal similar to what is happening in the United States. I saw some video footage that was taken by a man in Portugal, and I'm going to just have to say it's completely unexplainable what is happening. But I foresaw some of this. Based on what I've been researching, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, this was what was bound to happen. It was all going to start with the weather chaos and the flooding. We've already seen that. Now we're seeing the burning. Actually, it's a combination of the both. And now we're going to start to see pretty extreme wind patterns. And the reason being is because of the way that our Earth is being tugged on and tilted more than its normal or natural tilt. Things are happening at a progressive rate. So that is one of the main reasons why I'm saying please have some type of emergency plan in place. Something. In the times that are coming ahead, you just don't want to be unprepared. That will become your biggest nightmare. I'm going to go ahead and let this weather map go ahead and play out, and you'll see, fortunately for the people that live in the southern part of the UK, from London, about maybe a quarter of the way through the country, things won't be too bad, but you're going to have some pretty sustained winds. It's going to be like living in the windy city of Chicago. And the air is probably going to get kind of cold, really cold. But as you can see, I'm just going to pan back here. I want you to see the magnitude of these vortexes of air and the magnitude of these storms. I mean, this storm right here, ladies and gentlemen, on the 21st of October, which is coming up, encompasses almost a third of the Atlantic Ocean. If you want to get technical, almost the entire northern Atlantic Ocean. And if you move across into the Pacific, you can see how extreme things are going to get. And then moving over on the 21st, looking at what is going to be knocking on the door of the country of Japan. Major wind speeds. And it's going to pull water in. And as you can see, the wind currents, they're going to be crashing into the shorelines throughout the entire country of Japan. Now, something that was kind of odd that I was looking at was not only this massive vortex, but it's forming another small one here that's pretty intense. Wind speeds well over 120 miles an hour. So as far as the weather goes, folks, things are going to change. They're going to change rapidly. And again, like I've said, anywhere north of the equator, the further north you go, the more extreme things are going to get. The same is going to apply from the equator south. The further south you go, the more extreme things are going to be as far as the weather and the wind. So it is a time of caution, ladies and gentlemen. And at 12 noon today, Dr. Albers and I are going to have a live stream on the Planet X News channel on YouTube. And we're going to show you some amazing discoveries that we've made just over the course of the last couple of days, including today. If any of you don't know, we had a pretty big coronal mass ejection. And we're going to see a much bigger increase in earthquake activity worldwide, but some of the areas that are going to be on alert will be the state of California, the entire state. Well, let's just put it this way. The entire west coast of the United States, Mexico, Central America, and South America. Included in that will be New Zealand and also Papua New Guinea and the coast of Australia over here near Sydney and Queensland. So ladies and gentlemen, it's just a major heads up. I want you to share this video with all your friends, your family members, co-workers, whoever. Share it on your Facebook, share it in your groups, share it on your Twitter. It's time that we start sticking together, get the word out. Every bit of information that we bring in is going to help someone, somewhere on this planet. This is a big heads up, ladies and gentlemen. From this point on, we need to pay very, very close attention to what is actually happening. Remember to come back to the Planet X News channel every day regardless if you get a notification or not. Visit the Planet X News Facebook page. Follow the page, subscribe to the channel, and make sure that you have a plan in effect starting today. Do not end your day without thinking about what I'm saying. Remember, from this point on, the titles of my videos will be vague. Just watch the videos. All of the information you'll need will be in that video, regardless of its title. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to move into some very, very trying times worldwide. I hope and I pray that all of you are awake, eyes and ears wide open. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching.